The recent events in the world may have left you asking, what is a pandemic and how do you define one in a simple way? Well, I'm here to help you with that, and it's going to be a lot less hassle than going to history class. A pandemic is a word used to describe a massive outbreak over a massive area, such as over an entire country or the world, not unlike the Nigerian princes plaguing the internet. This differs from an epidemic due to the sheer scale of a pandemic versus an epidemic. An epidemic is counted using individuals as a unit of measurement, whereas a pandemic also uses countries. A good example of an epidemic is the 2002 SARS, or Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. It appeared first in China, eventually spreading worldwide. This outbreak was quickly contained, only infecting roughly 8,000 people over the course of its run. Perhaps Mexico is not the country we should be walling ourselves off from. The word pandemic is derived from the Greek word pan, meaning all, and demos, meaning people. All people. Ironically, the amount of people who find me actually funny. Followed by the English ick, pandemic. Some previous pandemics include the current COVID-19 outbreak, also known as the coronavirus, along with HIV/AIDS, at its peak between 2005 and 2012, which had taken upwards of 36 million lives, almost as many victims as human stupidity. The Asian flu, which has taken almost 2 million lives, and the sixth cholera outbreak, which took nearly 800,000 lives. And finally, the Black Death, also known simply as the plague, which might have taken up to 200 million lives, which is equivalent to 30 to 60% of Europe's overall population at the time. Now you might be asking how a potential epidemic is identified and studied. The phases of an epidemic are as follows. Also, these steps might help you in your dating life. Phase 1, the investigation interval. A new type of virus is identified and investigated in humans or animals. Alternatively, you identify an attractive man, woman, duck, or whatever you're into. You freak. Phase 2, the recognition interval. An individual or individuals are identified to have the disease with an increased chance of one person transferring it to another. You finish your first date with them, you had a great time, you felt some sparks, but you're noticing they have a slight case of the crazy eyes. Phase 3, the initiation interval. The virus is confirmed to be efficient and sustainable during person-to-person transmission. At this point, you'll start noticing red flags, like them going through your contact list and deleting everyone of the opposite gender, moving their things into your place unexpectedly, or perhaps sacrificing your dog to their Dark Lord PewDiePie to bless your relationship. Normal stuff. Phase 4, the acceleration interval. The new virus infects more victims. At this point, officials might take precautionary measures such as closing schools or encouraging social distancing. This is actually where we are right now. At this point, you should be taking some precautionary measures of your own, such as changing your locks, alerting the police, and maybe getting a restraining order. Phase 5, the deceleration interval. There is a consistent decreasing of new cases, usually due to a vaccine or the population becoming more and more immune to the illness. At this point, your security cameras are going to see them breaking into your house less and less with the intention of watching you sleep. And finally, phase 6, the preparation interval. After the virus has mostly subsided, officials will be sure to monitor the illness and prepare for another wave of that illness or another possible strain of it. At this point, they've either found a new victim to harass or they're locked up for 7 to 12 years for serial harassment. Either way, it's over. Now that you know all of this, what can you do? That's simple. Keep your distance from others, wash your hands frequently, Seek medical care if you think you've contracted the illness, and trust the officials in charge. Perhaps use another form of protection as well. The people in charge have your best interest in mind. Probably. As long as everyone follows these steps, the virus will eventually die out, or at least buy time for a vaccine to be manufactured. Please stay safe and please stay informed on the current news. If anyone comments a term or concept they want me to cover, I'll put it on the list of things I want to cover in the future. Who knows? Yours could be next. Subscribing helps build your immunity. Be the healthiest you can be.